Good afternoon. Buy the book. I come from a marketing background, so we have to start with the important stuff. Buy the book. Yes? However, this theological anthology explores how African women theologians engage with synodality, which emphasizes inclusivity, dialogue, and collective decision-making. It critiques the Church's patriarchal structures while affirming African women's spiritual and theological contributions. Drawing from African cultural realities and lived experiences, it highlights the importance of listening, participation, and empowerment in shaping a more just and inclusive church and society. Some of the themes and ideas highlighted in the book include, but are not limited to, synodality as a way of life, women's voices in theology, patriarchy and exclusion, cultural and spiritual integration, hope and transformation. This book, which is written in a theological style, is however grounded in the lived experiences of the contributors. It blends theological concepts with African cultural wisdom and offers a prophetic offering of both critiques and hope. Some of the key takeaways are: synodality cannot be realized without gender inclusivity. African women's theological voices are indispensable for the Church's renewal. The Church must move from token inclusion to authentic shared leadership. African cultural models of dialogue, listening, and consensus can enrich global Catholicism. Let us explore the first few chapters, which constituted the keynote addresses of the previous conference, highlighting some brief insights I gleaned from a perusal of the book. And note that I say perusal, not study. Thus, your own reading, after you buy the book, might reveal more insights. So please buy it, read it for yourself, and engage with the authors, some of whom are here with us, to hear whether I correctly represent their wisdom. Dr. Jacinta Okondo from Kenya wrote the first chapter titled Hekima University College and the Call for a Theological and Synodal Empowerment of Women. She sets the tone, highlighting that the contributions in this book are those that will critique, reinterpret, and propose new pathways for inclusion. She explains why African women's voices are critical for reimagining church structures. Sister Jacinta is also the first woman to serve as Deputy Principal Academics at Hekima University College. We hear from Dr. Josine Galula from the Democratic Republic of Congo in Chapter 2. Her title is Working Together as a Listening Church. I also mention here that Sister Josie holds the honor of being the first African woman to serve on the Pontifical International Theological Commission and was also a delegate at the Synod on Synodality. In her writing, she explores biblical and theological roots of synodality, highlighting how Scripture emphasizes community, listening, and shared responsibility. Sister Josie also critiques a patriarchal interpretation of theology that excludes women, calling for a feminist and African-centered interpretation and application of synodality. Dr. Lisa Cahill from the USA, who I also had the honor of being taught by very recently, and who has been navigating this space of women theologians for a long time. Am I allowed to say about 40 years?
Yeah.
Paving the way for many other women through her scholarly work at Boston College, authored Chapter 3, African Women's Theology, Appreciation and Dialogue. This affirmation of the significant contributions of African women theologians draws on African traditions like Ubuntu, consensus building, storytelling, and communal rituals, showing how African culture offers models of inclusivity and participation, often missing in hierarchical church systems. Lisa highlights explicitly women's roles in traditional African spirituality as parallel theological resources. In chapter 5, we hear from Professor Mary Getui from Kenya. Her title is Speak, Listen, and Speak Again, a tool for African women theologians and synodality. Our theology as women theologians is made all the more richer by ecumenical collaboration, embodied by Professor Getui, a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and on staff at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa. She synthesizes theology, culture, and lived experience into a vision for renewal, advocating for equal participation of women at all levels of church life. Professor Getui emphasizes that the church must learn from African women's communal wisdom and prophetic critique. She ends her chapter with a call for transformative synodality rooted in justice, inclusivity, and dialogue. Professor Sean Copeland from the USA and Boston College, who's not here with us, but who's responsible for forming Father Marcel here closely, shares her wisdom born out of lived experience as a Black woman theologian in the US in her chapter, titled Synodality, the Decolonial and Theology as Political. She focuses on testimonies and narratives from African women theologians, exposing challenges such as marginalization, clericalism, gender-based violence, and exclusion from decision-making. She balances her critique with hope by showing resilience, creativity, and leadership among women in communities. There are other contributors that you will hear from this week who are also contributors to this book, and include the ones seated here. Buy the book. Buy the book. But why is this book important? Theologically, it challenges patriarchy and expands theological voices. For Africa, it integrates culture, spirituality, and lived realities. It also models how synodality can actually work for the global church. In conclusion, I was struck by how Ubuntu parallels the church's call to synodality, but also challenges the church to practice what it preaches. This extremely beautiful book, and I mean that literally too, is a prophetic call for the Catholic Church to embrace African women's wisdom as essential for a truly synodal future. What did I say? Buy the book. Thank you.
The principals to join the team.
For the principal, welcome.
Dr. Stephen Ayoa, the Dean, did quite a tremendous work in editing. May we request you for these memoirs. Please, Dr. Ayoa, will you come forward? I was about to sing Kata Kata, and it's not a cake. congratulations to the team. And the book now is available. Please, how much is it going for? You didn't say the price. Yeah. 1,500. Even the participants, there is no discount. I'm just saying. 1,500, 1,500 is about $12, $13.
At this point, I welcome the Archbishop and the principal to issue the books to the contributors. So we can be there for the, and we go for the, it's just there with the book for the memorial.
Very much. As we take this photo, can we now prepare to head over to the JST, the other campus,
Thank you.
for the Holy Mass.
Thank you.
Let's go and check the program.